Hello, let's do Wordle number 956, and today's theme is Everybody Loves Raymond, which I'm going to admit I didn't watch very much of. I mean, it was always in the periphery, but I never really sat down and watched much of the show. So I don't know a whole lot about it, but I did do some research because that's what this is all about. So researching a sitcom is a bit strange where you don't watch it, you just research it. So I apologize if some of this is a bit off, but this is what I found people talking about it. So, if you're not familiar with Everybody Loves Raymond, it's a family-centric sitcom that aired from 96 to 2005. So quite a long time. And it found humor in everyday life and like family, relatable interactions between, family members and different characters. I'd say that kind of contrasts with a show like Seinfeld, which was also very good, nothing against Seinfeld. But what Seinfeld did is it took mundane situations and it turned them into outlandish or bizarre scenarios in order to make them funny. Whereas what Everybody Loves Raymond style was just to find humor in those relatable situations themselves without having to make them outlandish or bizarre. So I'd say that it was a bit of a trend center in that way. I don't know how much so, but shows that came after. I'm not saying that they were directly influenced by Everybody Loves Raymond, but they could have been seeded within the population by the idea of accepting this kind of humor. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I thought of some other shows that have a similar style, at least, which is, the mockumentary style of show, like the US version of The Office or Parks and Recreation. You've also got shows like Modern Family and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where the characters are generally not outlandish, right? They're not ridiculous characters. They're not put in ridiculous situations, but the shows are still quite humorous because of how relatable a lot of the situations are. And so, it's interesting that there's that sort of style of comedy. There's different styles of comedy. And so I'd say Everybody Loves Raymond is a quintessential example of that style of comedy. I found a few episodes that we can talk about in terms of, relatable comedy. The Toaster was an episode where Raymond was upset that his gift of engraved toasters was not well received. So he, it's just the idea of like, the relatable aspect of being excited about a gift that you're going to give someone and then they end up not liking it. And of course, the humor comes from the fact that, his gift was a bit strange. And then Baggage, where there's a suitcase left on the stairs and no one wants to take responsibility for moving it. Sort of the stubbornness of like, well, I didn't put the suitcase there, so I'm not going to be the one to move it. And I'm just going to keep walking around it. And then The Wallpaper, where Marie, who's Raymond's mother, secretly replaces Deborah's wallpaper that she didn't like. So, little situations like that you can find humor in that I think are relatable to the general audience. And that's really all I have to say about that. If it had been a show that I watched a lot of, I'm sure I could talk a lot more about it, but that was the maximum effort I was willing to put into this topic. So with that said, let's solve the Wordle. So Dill the Man requested I start with voice because Raymond does have a very distinctive and recognizable voice, and laugh because it's a comedy. And so there's a laugh track. All right, a U and an L. That's all we get. We've tried A, E, I, and O. So unless there's a Y, U is the only vowel. Although I could see it being like a ULLY word. We could try fully. That helps place the L, helps place the U, checks if there's a Y, which is the only other quasi-vowel available. Oh, that wasn't bad. Something like bulky would be possible. Sulky. Sulky would be an interesting word. Anything else? Anything other than a K there is really the question. Curly would have been possible if there was a C. Surly is possible. Oh no, sorry, I'm misplacing that yell. I don't know what I'm doing there. I think I was thinking about RY and then went, oh yeah, totally, burly, surly. But no, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, with the L third, it's a little bit harder to fill in that blank there. ULNY, ULMY. I'm thinking it is going to be a ULKY word, and I think bulky is the more common of the two, so I'm just going to give this a try. Yeah, it was bulky. All right. I think sulky would be a potential answer there, but I don't mind having guessed bulky first. because I do think bulky is going to be a little bit more common of a word. So cool. Well, hope you enjoyed that. Let's spin the wheel of themes, and is it not going to load? There it goes. Spin the wheel of themes and see what tomorrow is going to bring us. James Bond 007, suggested by Drozd Vadim. So 2 words related to our spy. And of course, if you enjoyed this content, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.